With Craig Button and Marc Denis, guys, we've been talking about it for years. Leaf fans have been frustrated by it. We're sure they've spoken about it themselves as a team behind closed doors. But Marc, as a former goalie in this league, what does it mean now that Stolarz has taken this lack of support so public?
Well, obviously, it's beyond the finger pointing. I think individuals have already publicly said they've kissed and made up since, which is great, and we'll see what turns out. But the dressing room is on edge because Anthony Stolarz also spoke to the identity of this team, to the lack of response from physicality from the Kraken, and not being able to get the extra point in overtime. Harsher things are being said, not on a daily basis, but quite often within the friendly confines of the dressing room. But to bring that publicly is another level. I do believe that Anthony Stolarz, being the number one goalie for the Maple Leafs, is entitled to question his team's identity. And just like he said, sometimes enough is enough.
Yeah, I think, Marc, it certainly says to everybody that Anthony Stolarz has a place now in the Toronto Maple Leafs identity, in their DNA. He's been there for just over a year. He signed a contract extension, and he's now comfortable taking on that leadership role. Enough is enough, I think, speaks to a larger, bigger challenge facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's like, how are we going to be harder to play against? How are we going to dig in? And this is something that's plagued the Toronto Maple Leafs for a number of years. And this outspoken leadership by Anthony Stolarz, I think is really welcomed because it hasn't been on display very often over the last number of seasons.
Stolarz also publicly ripped Nylander himself, saying that he cost them a point with his lack of effort on the game winner on Saturday night. This less than a week after Berube publicly called out Nylander, saying he needs more from him. Now Berube is saying he wishes they could have kept this all in the room. What do you think about how public this has now become, Craig?
Well, here's what I would say. You know, it feels like there's a new scapegoat in town. It's moved 5 notches down from 93 to 88. I'll be very clear here. The Toronto Maple Leafs got a point because William Nylander was instrumental in all 3 goals the Leafs scored on Saturday night. He made a mistake. We know he made a mistake. He's their leading scorer, Gino. It just feels, again, they got to find a scapegoat. And so everybody wants to pile on William Nylander. Go ahead. You did it to Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner said, I'm out of here. Bottom line is, you got a talented player. William Nylander knows he needs to be better in certain areas. He could have been better on that play Saturday night. Try to play without William Nylander. They're struggling without Marner. Good luck trying to find a replacement for Nylander, and they're not going to find one for Marner.
Gentlemen, I'll tell you this much. There's something to be a talented and skilled player in this league, but it's also about accountability. And what I'll be looking to for this Leafs next game is for both Anthony Stolarz and William Nylander to bring it and to bounce back. Because if there was some finger pointing and some shouldering of the blame and responsibility, they'll need to answer back.
All going to be very interesting to see how Nylander responds. The Leafs get the Devils Tuesday night. The last time he played them, he had a 3-point night, including a pair of goals.